Et tu, Brutus? The last words spoken by Roman general and consul Julius Ceasar upon realizing that he had been betrayed by his close friend Marcus Brutus. This is the masterpiece by Vincenzo Camuccini titled La morte di Cesare, or its English translation, The Death of Julius Caesar. This scene depicts the very moment the Roman Senate turned on Caesar and fulfilled their conspiracy to have him killed after he had declared himself Dictator Perpetuo, dictator for life, just a month before. The first eye catch is obviously Caesar himself fallen in anticipation of the inevitable attack, surrounded on all sides by the senators seeking to end his life. But look closer, and it becomes apparent that Caesar is not cowering in fear. Take note of the body language shown here, chest fully visible, arm outstretched towards one assassin, seemingly having second thoughts, or perhaps averting his gaze in shame. This points to the fact that the person we are most likely looking at is Marcus Brutus, a good friend of Caesar who he had previously pardoned for supporting his enemy in the Roman civil war, Pompey Magnus. Keep that name in mind, he will come up later. If we take a step back and examine the image, we notice that the action of the scene is off-center. Indeed, if we look at Caesar, he is seemingly only fixated on one person, Brutus, so much so that it is he who occupies the center of the painting. This dynamic is so central that even if you remove the rest of the image, the core theme is still present, that of betrayal and shame. Continuing, we come to the statue looming over the scene with its position demanding our attention. Although it would be natural to assume that this might be a Roman god depicted, it is in fact not. Rather, it's a statue of Pompey Magnus, Caesar's old rival. You see, the main Senate building was at this very time under renovation, so the Senate meeting had to be held at some other spot. And by pure chance, Gaius Julius Caesar would come to be killed right under a statue of his old enemy. Looking closely, it almost seems like the statue is observing the events as well. Scanning the rest of the room, we see senators in a plethora of emotions: fear, shock, grief, curiosity. One even seems to want to intervene. And squeezed in between some senators, partially obstructed from view, we see a grand chair in the center of the room. Its grand appearance could almost be likened to a throne. And in pretty much all forms except name, Caesar was a king. He had the power, throne, and even a crown was offered to him. This type of power concentrated in one man was too much for the republic-loving Romans. On the left side of the painting, we see behind the columns two men talking, seemingly unaware of the chaos unfolding inside. These two men are Gaius Trebonius, one of the conspirators, as well as Mark Antony, Caesar's right-hand man. Trebonius is here distracting Mark Antony from the assassination, keeping him in the dark, both metaphorically and literally in the darkness of the other room. The painting we see today was completed in 1806, but was originally commissioned back in 1793 by Frederick Hervey, 4th Earl of Bristol. However, when he completed the first version of the artwork in 1796, it was not well received, so he destroyed it and began from scratch, completing the now iconic version in 1806. By this point, however, the Earl of Bristol had passed away, and his heirs refused to pay for the painting. And so, Vincenzo Camuccini went to look for another buyer. That buyer would be Joachim Murat, one of Napoleon's marshals, who in 1807 bought the work. After Napoleon had been defeated and Murat had been executed for helping him, the painting was acquired by Ferdinand II, the King of Naples. For a long time, the painting was in his possession, but in 1864 it was entered into its present home, the National Museum of Capodimonte in Naples. The reason narrative paintings are such highly regarded works of art is the fact that they capture the moments in time when history stood at a knife's edge. Every decision made could have cascading effects, echoing through history. The moments where every word becomes a quote and every action iconic. And in no other painting is this clearer than in this one. La morte di Cesare. The exact moment when history will be forever set in stone, and the story of both the Roman Republic and Julius Caesar would come to an end. La morte di Cesare is without a doubt a masterpiece in the genre of narrative paintings, a one-of-a-kind portrayal of a cosmic historical and cultural event, the assassination of Julius Caesar. And right now, we have this motif available on our website. Check it out in our link in the description. If you enjoyed this video and would like to help support our work, you can do so by liking the video, subscribing to our channel, or checking out our other products on our website. Lastly, I would love to hear your thoughts. Did we get something wrong? Was there something we missed? Write a comment. We would love to hear your opinion. Thank you for watching.